Okay, we have to start right at the top with this just, wow, this bombshell headline. Michelle Pfeiffer, Hollywood icon, managed to keep something huge under wraps for a whole year.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
She casually revealed she's a grandmother. After, successfully keeping it completely secret, a profound, life-altering thing.
And that kind of deliberate silence in today's media world, it's almost impossible,
Right.
especially for someone like her. I mean, here's a star who's spent, what, 3 decades carefully building this protective wall around her family.
Hmm.
And somehow she cradled this huge news for 12 months, not a single leak. It's extraordinary.
Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join us as we break down Hollywood drama and dive into the stories behind the headlines.
So today, we're diving deep. We're going to unpack how Pfeiffer maybe made herself unhireable way back when just to protect her family.
Right.
And the really harrowing paparazzi stuff that seems to have fueled that fierce privacy.
And then there's a grandmother paradox happening now. She calls it heaven, this new role, but she's also got maybe the busiest work schedule she's had in years. It's fascinating.
It really is. This isn't just, a celebrity life update. It feels more like a look at what some are calling the Kelly Pfeiffer method, how they built this incredibly private life right in the public eye.
Exactly. It's a deep dive into maybe the ultimate act of controlling your own story, owning your silence.
Okay, let's start with the reveal itself, the setting for it. That's the first piece of maybe genius here.
It really seems like it.
It wasn't some big PR splash, no magazine cover. It was late 2025. She's a guest on the SmartLess podcast. Super relaxed, totally unscripted vibe with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, Sean Hayes.
Yeah, definitely a soft landing spot, comfortable territory. And the way she did it, she wove the news into this broader, quite philosophical chat.
About getting older, yeah. Having a finite amount of time left, as she put it.
Exactly. She was talking about wanting to rejig her priorities professionally to be more present in her actual life.
And then, almost like an afterthought, mid-sentence, she just pauses and kind of drops it. I might announce on this show that I became a grandmother last year.
Just like that.
It's huge news. But she delivers it like it's just a small side note to this bigger thought about life's trajectory.
That casual delivery, though, that was framing it perfectly. It was a masterclass, really. She gave you the emotion of it all.
Oh, yeah.
Calling it heaven, saying it's ridiculous, this incredible new love that just completely reordered her world. But crucially, zero specific details.
And that's the absolute key, isn't it? She protected what she called that quiet joy for an entire year. She even admitted, I've been very quiet about it. But look at what she didn't share, even when she finally did share.
Right. She gave the world what she's a grandmother.
Okay.
But she fiercely guarded the who.
Totally.
No name, no gender. And really importantly, no mention of whether it was her daughter Claudia, who's 32, or her son John, who's 31.
So by using that podcast setting, she kind of dictated the tone, didn't she? This is about my personal evolution. It's not just celebrity gossip fodder.
Absolutely. It was narrative control. Now, you could ask, was picking a friendly, unscripted show like SmartLess just smart control? Or was it maybe a bit of a calculated risk?
Yeah, so.
Well, knowing she's in a space where the hosts respect her, they likely wouldn't push hard for those details she wasn't offering.
Ah, okay. So it's maybe both. Strategic placement and relying on that established respect.
I think it has to be both.
Ah.
And the strategy works because this isn't new for her. She has this long history of setting boundaries. She didn't just wake up one day and decide to be private.
Right.
To really get how she maintains this level of control, you really have to look back. You have to understand the why, the history behind that protective shield she's built.
That protective instinct, yeah, it goes way back. It's basically her life philosophy from the 90s playing out again. She literally had to make herself scarce professionally. We talk about privacy, but Pfeiffer, she paid a real price for it back then.
Yeah.
She actually became, in her own words, unhireable.
She really did. She started imposing these restrictions that, for major studios, were just impossible to work with.
Like what?
She recalled saying things like, well, I'll only shoot in the summer, and I'll only shoot here, and I'll only blah, 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 just making it really difficult.
Wow.
And the result was she effectively disappeared for, about 5 years? Just vanished from that A-list scene. Retirement rumors started flying.
And the main reason, the catalyst for pulling back so drastically, was intensely personal and honestly terrifying. It was the paparazzi.
Yeah, the constant aggressive hounding specifically involving her kids.
We need to pause on that because it wasn't just, photographers at premieres.
No, far from it.
She talks about the horror of photographers picking them up in carpool for public consumption. Think about that. Following her home with the kids in the car.
And having cameras shoved right in their little faces. She said it traumatized them. That's not just annoying, that feels like an immediate physical threat to your children.
Absolutely. And the psychological impact that followed, that's maybe even more revealing. She tells this story about her daughter, Claudia, when she was only in 2nd or 3rd grade, already figuring out which kids were genuine friends and which weren't.
It's actually heartbreaking, that level of awareness for a child so young. Claudia apparently told her, "Mom, I know when someone's coming up to talk to me because they want to be my friend or because you're my mom."
How did she know?
She said if the person was older and talked to her for too long, Claudia just knew it wasn't really about wanting to be her friend.
Wow. Just,
Yeah.
wow. So the family basically had to physically step back, get out of the media glare, just to give the kids a shot at some kind of normalcy.
They needed that space. And now, decades later, you see this incredible full circle moment. It was the kids themselves, the ones she protected, now grown up and secure, who apparently encouraged her back into acting, asking her, "Mom, are you ever going to go back to work?"
That must have felt like such validation.
Completely. It's like, okay, I made the right choice. I built the shield. It worked. The kids are grounded. And now they're actually pushing me to go pursue my own passion again.
And that shield, that foundation, it seems largely built on what we're calling the Kelly Pfeiffer method, that incredible partnership she has with David E. Kelley.
Her husband, yeah. The massively successful writer-producer, 11 Emmys, but also someone who keeps an equally low public profile.
The timeline of how they got together is pretty key here too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They meet January 1993. Just 2 months later, Pfeiffer adopts her daughter, Claudia Rose, as a single mother.
So Kelly is, what, 2 months into this new relationship?
And bam, he's immediately thrust into a very real, practical parenting situation.
That's a trial by fire. Pfeiffer later said it really separated the boys from the men.
You can see why. He had to step up right away and show his integrity as a potential parent before things got super serious romantically. It cemented things differently.
And then they got married and christened Claudia on the same day, November 1993.
Yeah, that speaks volumes about their priorities. Family first, unconventional path, totally fine with them. And another crucial piece, David E. Kelley's career.
As a writer-producer.
Right, it's largely location independent. He can write those huge TV shows from almost anywhere.
Ah, so does that support her ability to be unhireable, to limit where and when she'll work?
It seems like it must be a huge factor.
Yep.
It's everything, perhaps. They weren't juggling two demanding, location-dependent Hollywood careers. His work allowed for that quiet stability.
The kind of stability that let their kids build these really serious non-Hollywood lives.
Exactly. Look at Claudia Rose again, a bachelor's from Princeton in Slavic languages, then 2 graduate degrees from Columbia Russian Lit and philosophy. That's intense academic focus.
That is serious dedication. Very far from the spotlight. And their son, John Henry Kelly, even lower profile, it seems.
Pretty much invisible since childhood. So their adult lives really demonstrate the success of the method, right? Prioritizing personal achievement, internal substance over external fame.
And Pfeiffer traces that back, philosophically.
Yeah, she talks about her grandmother. Raised 5 kids during the Depression. Later drove a truck solo from North Dakota to California, a real survivor.
And Pfeiffer wanted her kids to have that same kind of resilience, to be fighters and survivors.
Exactly, that internal strength, not just relying on external validation from, being Michelle Pfeiffer's kid.
Which brings us right back to now, to this current contradiction we mentioned.
Yeah.
The grandmother paradox.
Right.
Because Pfeiffer is very openly saying she wants to scale back. She talks about realizing she has a finite amount of time left.
A real sense of mortality, shifting priorities.
And she even admitted, quite candidly, if I had known that I was going to be a grandmother, I wouldn't have taken on so much work.
That really lands, doesn't it? That's someone whose entire focus has been fundamentally recentered by this new family role. The pull of family feels stronger now than career ambition.
So you'd expect her to, what, start canceling projects? Slowing right down.
That's the intuitive thought, yeah. Take a break, enjoy this heaven she described.
But the reality, it's the complete opposite. That statement clashes directly with her actual workload right now.
It really does.
I mean, we're talking late 2025. Her schedule is packed. This is the schedule of a star who is absolutely at the peak of her powers.
No kidding. Let's list them. She's headlining and executive producing The Madison, that huge Yellowstone spinoff for Paramount Plus Up. That's a massive commitment.
Huge. Then she's starring in that big Christmas comedy film for Amazon MGM. Oh,
Fun.
Right. And starring in the Apple TV Plus limited series, Margot's Got Money Troubles.
That's 3 major high-profile demanding projects all happening basically now.
So yeah, the paradox is real. How does she square that circle? The intense desire to be present as a grandmother with this incredibly intense schedule. How does it resolve? What's the aha moment here?
Well, the insight seems to be, and this is the fascinating part, it's not about working less. It seems to be about working differently.
Differently how?
That profound joy, that heaven of being a grandmother, it's become this powerful emotional anchor for her. It sort of diminishes the weight, the importance of all the professional stress and anxieties.
And she actually said something like this, didn't she?
She did. She said, "The weird thing is that giving up that angst about the process has freed me up, and I feel, in some ways, has made me better."
Giving up the angst.
Yeah. It sounds like she's successfully uncoupled her sense of self-worth from her job performance.
Yeah.
She doesn't need the work to validate who she is anymore.
Okay, I think I see.
So by letting go of that angst, the constant pressure for success, for acclaim, for the next big hit, she's actually liberated. She can just focus on the craft itself.
With maybe more clarity, more relaxation.
Exactly. And she feels this peace, this letting go, has actually made her better at acting, improved her performance.
So the demanding schedule becomes manageable because the motivation has changed. It's not obligation or ambition driving it anymore.
It's transformed, yeah, into something more like joyful, creative expression, anchored by this deep personal fulfillment from her family. Her next chapter seems defined by that liberated creativity.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite a journey. So she's achieved this kind of holistic fulfillment maybe, where being a matriarch and being a movie star actually feed each other.
It really looks that way. She's embodying that legacy of resilience she admired in her grandmother, and now extending that strength, that quiet dignity to a third generation.
So the sweetest secret she kept for that year, it wasn't just the baby. It was maybe the discovery that came with the baby. This unexpected professional freedom.
That's a profound takeaway, and maybe the ultimate lesson from this whole Kelly Pfeiffer method. In Hollywood, perhaps the greatest luxury isn't the fame or the money. Maybe it's the power to actually buy silence, to protect your private joy.
Something to think about, definitely.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.